Some of the songs that I write are factual, some are fiction, and some are a combination of fact and fiction. In this particular case, this is all fact. I'm super excited about the release of my new single, White Dove of the Desert, on Dark Shadow Recording.
Lies a little village, St. Xavier del Bar, out on the border where the only law and order came from the sharp edge of a narrow hot bullet from a gun.
My discovery of the story came from a dear friend who lived in Tucson, Arizona, and when we went to visit her, she took us for a ride to an old mission about 10 miles south of the city called the San Xavier del Bar Mission. And it's called the White Dove of the Desert. And I was so captivated, I knew I had to write a song about it someday. When I first started walking around and saw the tall cathedral ceilings and the Spanish architecture, it was just like a magical place. I started to learn more about its history that goes back to the early 1600s, and realized it was a very important place where the founder of the mission, whose name is Francesco Kino, went to establish a mission to bring Christianity to the people who live there. It's a huge white structure with stucco ceilings, and when they get done building it, they painted it a bright white outside, and it's this huge, huge place. And it sits in the middle of the Sonoran Desert. So basically, you're driving down the road through this back road, and you look up in the middle of the desert, and you just see this huge white structure, and it's just inspiring. I was so interested in the story and the backdrop to the story that I bought a couple of books and did a lot of research and study about the history of the mission and why they built it, what their purpose was, and what they went through to build it in a western part of our country that was pretty wild at the time. Looking around, we saw this display of candles. And back a few hundred years ago, when people first started coming there to get closer to their faith, they would go there to pray, and the only light inside were candles, and they would light all these candles, and people would come in from wherever they lived or wherever they worked and just kneel down in front of these candles and pray.
Hungry souls, white dove of the desert, built with loving hands.
About 6 months later, I told Stephen, I said, I had one other song that I'd never sent you, and I don't know if you're interested, if you think it's one you should to consider, and I'm going to send it along. And I sent it to him, and he calls me right up and he said, "This is great. This is just so different. It's such a cool story." He said, we need to have this on the album.